Welcome to the Foundation. We're back. I'm your host, Cortez Bryant, and today we're streaming live to celebrate Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University exclusively on BlackStream Live. The Foundation is a series that celebrates HBCU life and culture. On average, more than 300,000 students attend HBCUs each year, and 80% are African Americans. Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, aka FAMU, has been the highest ranked public HBCU for the last 2 years. One could even say I'm in enemy territory as I am a graduate of Jackson State, and we do have some deep-rooted football rivalry, band rivalry. Though Jackson State did take the W home after our last matchup, we won't get into all that. Tonight, we'll also be honoring FAMU President Fred Humphreys, who recently passed on June 24th. Dr. Humphreys was a true public servant who dedicated his life to the betterment of higher education. We also will be getting into FAMU athletics, entertainment studies at the university. Now, this series is powered by Windows and Intel Evo working together and creating devices that are made to inspire. Now, even though we're rivals, so you say, and FAMU is coming into the SWAC, I got to give some credit where credit is due. You know, FAMU is one of the dopest HBCUs that I've been to, and that's out there. So if you're looking for an academic challenge, under the leadership of its president, Larry Robinson, FAMU has a variety of programs designed to meet various career objectives. The university offers 54 bachelor degrees, 29 master degrees, 3 professional degrees, and 12 doctoral programs. The campus, to a couple different times, especially at homecoming, is nothing short of a southern paradise. The Rattlers make their home in a serene setting on the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee, Florida, looking out over 420 acres that house more than a dozen buildings and displaying all architectural excellence. Whether you want to get some studying done at the Carnegie Library or Charles Winter Wood Theater, FAMU's campus has you covered. But just don't take it from me. Take a look for yourself.
Always remember that the Rattlers will strike and strike and strike again.
Last month, the HBCU community lost an icon in the passing of Dr. Frederick Humphreys Sr. He was the 8th president of FAMU and dedicated his life to bettering the standards of higher education. Dr. Humphreys left an impression on his peers throughout the country. Today, we're going to sit down with Sharon J. Ledman Hicks, CEO of the National Black Justice Coalition. She's here to describe to us the impression Dr. Humphreys left on her. But first, take a look at this video to start learning just how impactful Dr. Humphreys' legacy is.
Dr. Frederick Humphreys returned to Florida A&M University armed with a strategy that would elevate the HBCU to Ivy League status. His commanding presence, innovative ideas, and enthusiasm was a powerful magnet, attracting students, faculty, corporations, alumni, and research dollars at a level never before realized. During the Humphreys years, from 1985 to 2001, FAMU burst onto the scene as the upstart Black university with attitude, ready to take on the world. Humphreys' first move was to beef up enrollment. His unorthodox student recruitment style is legendary, but the university's dominance of national achievement scholars would stun academia. FAMU led the nation with the scholars outpacing Harvard, Yale, and Stanford in 1992, 95, 97, and tying Harvard in 2000. But also, part of the big picture were those students with untapped potential who would be nurtured at FAMU. The intrinsic strength of an HBCU education was a powerful weapon for Humphreys, whose motto, Excellence with Caring, was resonating nationwide. He awarded 873 Life Gets Better scholarships and increased foundation revenues tenfold to $62 million. FAMU was named College of the Year by Time Magazine and the Princeton Review. Grants jumped from $8 million to $46 million, and enrollment soared from 5,000 to 12,000. Humphreys was always focused on FAMU's research profile, but now was able to strengthen engineering, the sciences, and pre-law. FAMU's 8th president always credited a great faculty for playing a major role in the success of his efforts. The expansion of graduate studies is a testament to that fact. But the most extraordinary part of the Humphreys legacy was the elevation of FAMU to prominence and dispelling the stereotypes about HBCUs. Thank you, Dr. Frederick S. Humphreys, for your leadership and love for FAMU.
Excellence with caring. Listen, that's definitely a philosophy that I use in my life. And as you can see, Dr. Humphreys left a legacy that would affect the HBCU community for years to come. His Excellent with Caring motto reflected in the advancements he made throughout the HBCU community, especially at FAMU, was second to none. The university marked an impressive tenfold increase in science and engineering students under his leadership, and doctoral programs also rose from 1 in 1985 to 10 in 2000 before he left office. Humphrey's 16-year leadership of FAMU also saw creation of FAMU's Let's Get Better Scholarship and its graduate school feeder program. He's also worked to restore the FAMU Law School, which is now located in Orlando. To state that Dr. Humphreys will be missed is an understatement. Now, let's talk to Sharon to hear more, and be sure to stay tuned, because at the end we got something special with Dr. Humphreys reciting FAMU's Rattler chant. Welcome, Sharon, to the show. Hi.
Thank you so much.
How you doing?
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm filled. I'm filled by what you just showed. It was a beautiful tribute.
It was a special man, right?
He was a phenomenal human being.
Absolutely. So this is a celebration here, and that's we want to make sure, as part of this package, when we're talking about FAMU, we definitely talk about somebody who is that, so impressionable for the university. So we understand that you're a part of the first freshman class that Dr. Humphreys recruited. Before we get into Dr. Humphreys a little bit more, tell us about that process and your experience at FAMU.
Well, my process of going to FAMU is all about Dr. Humphreys.
Oh, wow.
If it wasn't for him, this man literally showed up on my doorstep, unannounced, knocking on my family's door in Miami, opened the door and sales pitch, elevator pitch immediately. And we were kind of like, how'd you get our address? How did you find us? And he was so diligent about knowing the location of, at that time, as the first freshman class, we were National Merit Scholars.
Oh, okay.
And he would tap into every access to find National Achievement Scholars, National Merit Scholars, and before there was Life Gets Better, that came shortly after our first freshman class, we were Presidential Merit Scholars. Wow. And I mean the kitchen sink. There was nothing left unturned. And I got a little cocky in my freshman year. I was like, well, look, my high school is the same size as FAMU. FAMU was, I'm serious, it was under 4,000 when I was a freshman. I'm not going to date myself because y'all know his first year. But, black don't crack. So I want to be very clear that I was like, well, my high school is the same size. How else are you sweetening this pot? He was like, well, what do you do extracurricularly? What do you like to do? I said, I was the yearbook editor in high school. He was like, well, what about being the college editor? I was like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
I was like, okay, and he made me the Centennial Yearbook editor of our 100th anniversary yearbook in my first year at FAMU.
That's amazing.
And that's how dynamic he was. That's how he introduced himself. Everything mirrored his 6'7" stature.
Wow.
And he showed up at your house, he laid out the plan. And this was, again, his first recruitment year as our president, but he had a plan. He was coming home to his alma mater, and he wanted to build a dynasty of Black excellence. Well before all this wokeness that's going on now that you all have benefited from. We've been woke for over 35 years.
I hear that.
Let's be clear.
I hear that. That's amazing. Like president coming knocking on your door. Like I don't think I've ever heard.
I hadn't even applied.
Wait, what?
At that time. Yes, I had not.
So he literally found you, was like purposeful and didn't apply.
He was a data man.
Wow.
He was a data man.
That's so incredible. So listen, I heard, and so now it's making sense, right? Because I've heard about Humphrey's era Rattlers and how great they were, and so that era, you're telling me that he was there to exude this excellence and had this plan. So coming to life, how would you kind of put that in words of how he executed on that plan and what he did for the FAMU Nation?
Look, Dr. Humphreys was a 20th century visionary that had a 21st century expectations. When we say excellence with caring, that means mediocrity cannot be your standard. Okay, mediocrity was failing. It wasn't a C. Average was unacceptable. So he instilled in every year, the freshman class competed with each other. So you'll hear everybody goes by and he had the best freshman class because he presented it as you're coming in to take FAMU to the next level. Wow. The previous class was never enough because he made us understand what Black excellence is supposed to be. When he first got there, that was the era when they were really recruiting top Black talent to PWIs. Right. He was very intentional of making sure that we did not dilute our talent for HBCUs. Wow. So every year, I believe he competed with himself. Wow. He introduced us to things that many of us, and he didn't only go after, the 1,400 SAT kids. He built a space that, because of the legacy of FAMU, he understood the value of creating alternative admissions plans. There were people that, while he was focusing on 1,400 SATs, he was also letting in 600 SATs. Wow. And it was called our alternative admissions process, because if you had a vision and a plan and you needed a second opportunity, he wanted to create a space where FAMU can get you where you need to be. So we have exceptional programs at FAMU that enabled the Black family narrative that we all know what I'm talking about. There was a place at FAMU. FAMU wasn't going to be so elitist that we left behind those that needed a special touch. That's amazing. And seeing Black professionals day in and day out. I didn't come through the traditional Black experience. Yes. I'm a first generation American. Oh, so wow. I studied FAMU in a way that gave me the tools of understanding what Black excellence looks like, but more importantly, how to walk in my power. So my own personal narrative that I give from Excellence with Caring is own your power. Got you. Dr. Humphreys was a scientist. He was just as strategic politically, and he understood Black families. Wow. Now it's so great hearing you say these things, and
now I understand, because I have a lot of friends that are graduates, alums of FAMU, and they've carried this confidence with them and this chip, and I'm just like, so now that you're explaining it, and I see the origins and the vision and how it poured out into generations now, because, I'm younger, and you still see these alums like, you can't say nothing about FAMU. We got one right behind the camera right now. That's probably beating her
with her
chest
chest out like a peacock.
No, that's wonderful. So your relationship with Dr. Humphreys and experiences on the yard at FAMU, it was so important. You said you was first generation American, just getting to this level of excellence. So once you left FAMU, how did that prepare you for success in the world?
It really, FAMU never leaves you.
Okay.
That's the other thing about FAMU. I mean, his sister, Dr. Mona Humphreys Bailey, she's also deceased, was the first Miss FAMU, right? Mm-hmm. She was also the national president of my illustrious sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority.
Okay, all right. Sarah, okay. All right.
I know young bruh. We're going to talk about your young bruhness soon, but I have to stay focused on this conversation. I ran for national office towards the end of my time at FAMU in Delta Sigma Theta. His sister was the outgoing national president, and I was running for the top collegiate position, the national second vice president. Oh, wow. I went to Dr. Humphreys, and the convention just happened to be in my home city of Miami. I said, Dr. Humphreys, your sister's gonna throw us a reception for the Beta Alpha chapter, which was our home chapter at FAMU, and I wanna show up with FAMU at my back. The wind in my back. He was like, what do you want? I said, I want the president's car. He used to have this Ford Taurus with this giant FAMU seal on the side. Okay. And he looked at me perplexed, but he always looked at me perplexed. I had no boundaries. And that was the average student swagger. That's just how we rolled. And I said, well, you don't want your sister to find out that I asked you for the FAMU car, and you couldn't do that, right? He's like, it's my car, I'm the president. I said, I'm coming right back. I literally said, I'm coming right back.
And he gave you the car.
I rolled up in convention, in the Miami Convention Center, parked at the door, and had the FAMU car, and it changed. I won the election, by the way.
Oh, God.
And he literally looked at me and said, don't come home without that victory.
Wow.
I said, sir, I'm rolling up in your ride. How am I going to lose?
Wow.
And it was that type of trust that he had in his student population. It was all about his students.
Wow. He
was Big Daddy. He was the giant. When you think big, he's going to put the cherry on top.
That's amazing, man.
So we dared to be dynamic, and that's the bravado that you see. That's the gravitas that we walk in. We truly believe we got some diamonds between our thighs. Okay, we are unapologetic. You got Rob Hardy coming behind me too.
Oh gosh,
you're gonna really see the drama on top of it.
I get it. I can't believe I gotta go an hour now. All my friends y'all speak the same language. Oh my goodness gracious! I see. Okay, thank you, Dr. Humphreys. This is a celebration because you definitely have made an impression on generations of alum and everybody that stepped on that yard, because they all have this confidence that I know. So this is amazing.
That's the air we breathe, bro. That's the air we breathe.
I hear you. So wrap it up, right, Sharon? Okay, so this program is sponsored by Windows and Intel, and they want to know, they want to get in touch with campus culture. So they would like to know, what about FAMU's community culture inspires you? I think you just alluded to a lot of it, but if there's anything more you want to sponge on.
Excellence with caring, baby, and own your power. We are taught to own our power. We understood what Black Power was well before it became Black Lives Matter and everything else. And that's why we lead. We're unapologetic about leading in our industries, in our fields, in politics, in private sectors, in philanthropy. We are unapologetic. And we run the airwaves. Oh. So, you know what's behind your camera. That's a rapper. So let's be very, very clear. Okay.
Hey.
What you live every day is all over the world when it comes to rappers.
That's what's up. Hey, this has been amazing. This has been great. You've been great. Oh my God, I'm gonna talk about this all day. So if this is how the show's starting, boy, what's coming afterwards? So listen, thank you for coming on today. Thank you for telling us
having me.
about Dr. Humphreys. He definitely seemed like an incredible man. I wish I would have been able to meet. So thanks for coming.
His legacy is going to live on forever.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am.
We appreciate you lifting him up today.
All right, sister. Thanks. Bye. Whoa, boy, man. Okay, FAMU stands for Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University, but much more is offered than that name alludes to. I think Sharon tapped on a lot of it. And as far as breaking down the nitty-gritty, for example, the school has educated some of the standout names in entertainment. I think she was just saying that before the end. Let me go through the list, like some recording artists like Common, K. Michelle, actors and actresses like Anika Noni Rose and Woody McClain. And lastly, executives behind the camera, Jason Carter and Will Packer. Resources like the Century Theater Series and the FAMU Connection provide space for aspiring actors and filmmakers to cultivate the next generation of artists, such as our next guest, Rob Hardy. So Rob is a filmmaker and FAMU alum who attended FAMU with a full scholarship to the FAMU FSU College of Engineering. Yet, he became one of the leading black filmmakers in Hollywood. So I'm about to go down his credits. Okay, so he's produced and written and directed various projects. And y'all gonna know some of these, such as All American, Empire, Power, The Flash, and Stump the Yard. And that's just to name a few. So listen, Rob attributes his career to the very roots he's established at FAMU. He didn't expect his engineering degree to play such a pivotal role in his life, but that's a part of the magic of attending an HBCU. I definitely could attest to that. Take a look at some of the incredible projects that Rob has been part of. Own your power. I love it. White power. That was incredible. He's done a lot, boy. Jesus. So let's just get Rob on the line to explain how FAMU helped him discover his passion and create all that magic that we just saw. What's up, Rob? What's good, brother?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Where you at? You out here in Atlanta? Enjoy the holiday weekend?
I'm back home for the holidays, so it's good to be back, my man. It is.
That's what's up, bro. Listen, I've been knowing you through Nina, and this I'm just so shocked right now of sharing this last segment to see how y'all this energy that y'all give off as Rattlers is just like contagious. So you were there, but to get there, what made you decide to attend FAMU?
Well, it's crazy because that wasn't in my plan. So I grew up in Philly, and I thought I was going to be going to school up there. And my mom took a job in Florida, and I wound up applying to FAM, but still thinking I was going to go somewhere else. And they told me about this program, this summer engineering program called ECI, Engineering Concepts Institute. And they said, hey, if you go to this program and do a good job, then we'll give you a full ride. So my parents were like, that's where you're going for the summer.
Wow.
So I went there, and the first guy I met who was also in that program was Will Packer. And he was supposed to be going to another school, but he got a full ride and wound up in that program too. And that's how I wound up going there. But it was crazy because I didn't expect that to be the place for me. And all of a sudden I showed up, and man, the kids were smarter than me. You know, they were just as fly as I was. There was energy there. And then even when we like road trip back up north to like see some of my old friends, none of them were having as good of a time as we were having. Like our school, we felt was liver. We had the social scene, we had the academics, we road trips, and all of them were sweating FAMU way up north. So it just had me sticking my chest way out.
Oh, wow. Okay. You brought that swagger back up top. Okay. So you had this program, you was in this program for engineering. That got your full ride. So what inspired the transition from engineering to entertainment? That's two total different areas of study.
So look, I wanted to do filmmaking all along, but I had like an old school, well, my parents were kind of old school and they were feeling like, you know, is that really a career? Do we really know people that do filmmaking? Yeah. I know there's Spike Lee, but do we know Spike? So I decided engineering because I figured that I could use engineering to get into special effects to maybe get me into movies later on. And then when I was in engineering, this movie came out, Menace to Society, and a bunch of my friends were like, yo, you did like a little mini movie in high school. You should do a movie here at FAM. And so that's what really kind of got me started back doing filmmaking. And FAMU, you know, we support each other and everybody got a hustle. So we just made it like the new thing to do at that time.
You know what? And that kind of goes and leads into this next question, because I really wanted to know, you know, in what ways, you know, do you feel like your time at FAMU helped your perspective in being a creator, as you journey down to wanting to be this filmmaker?
Absolutely. Well, you know, FAMU was a hustle school, right? So you would have your major and then you would have your hustle, which is your passion. So like whatever you love to do, cut hair, draw, you know, design clothes, that was like your hustle. Yeah. So mine was filmmaking, and because there were so many other people that wanted to do stuff, you know, design clothes, act, do music, we put all that in the pot like gumbo. And you know, you from New Orleans, so we put all that stuff in the pot like gumbo, stirred it up, and it was so amazing because FAMU didn't have a film program, Florida State did. Wow. So we were the school that had the creativity. We went to FSU, got a couple of their students to do the technical stuff, but we put all the sauce on it. We did all the creative stuff, and we shot our movie. And we were the first historically Black college. We were the first movie shot at an HBCU by its students. So
was that movie Chocolate City?
That was Chocolate City.
Tell me about that. Listen, film on the HBCU campus. Tell us about that movie.
So we went and I wrote this project called Chocolate City, produced it with my man Will Packer. That was our first project together.
That's crazy.
A bunch of other people, you know, were in the movie. Stickman from Dead Prez did some music for the soundtrack. Yeah. You know, all that stuff was happening, and Dr. Humphreys basically gave us his blessing to shoot on campus and do whatever we wanted to do. Man. So we shot our movie. We raised some money, and then we like advertised it just in the city. We put it out in one theater, and we had like a video projector, and we showed it with a videotape. And so then we wound up having like $8,000 in a brown paper bag, legit money. And we
really?
Legit money at some college students, and we were like, yo,
this is what we doing.
Biggest scam ever. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do right here. And FAMU was made it happen, and at every turn, it was somebody in there doing it. Jason Carter, that you mentioned, was one of the stars of the movie.
That's crazy. You know, Jason Carter won music festival. Yes, that's crazy. He was in the movie?
Jason Carter won music festival, was the star of the movie, was one of the stars of the movie. Stacey Collins, who's a big time unit publicist in the academy, was the makeup style. Like, it was so many people that are out doing big things in entertainment that were tied to that project at that time. It's
Man, that's so amazing. You know, that, you know, you and Will were engineering majors and just flipped it and created this movie on campus. So during that whole experience of creating your first film on this HBCU campus, what part of it, you know, was your favorite in that experience leading up to it, sort of jumping out there?
You know, I think that my favorite experience of like the whole process, and it was hard because, you know, we were like, you know, ignorance is bliss. But the favorite one was when we actually had a premiere of the movie in Lee Hall. That was like the big admin area, and Humphreys, our president, his office on the top floor. So we had a big premiere, and it was packed out. We sold it out. And so then, because it was a video projector, when you started, it said play on the top, and everybody started booing because they thought, oh, okay, so you just shot this on some camcorders or whatever. And then it started, and they saw that we shot it on real film, and everybody clapped, and they were into it, and they were talking about it. And then we got, after that, you know, that like launched us to be able to eventually get a home video deal. And it was like a real thing. And you just felt like as that was happening, all these other
in itself, just this whole process, being on the yard and y'all coming up creating a whole movie on campus, engineering majors and using all these people. And this sounds like a movie. It sounds like something I would pay to go see. Maybe that's your next movie. I don't know, but you know. So how do you feel that, you know, FAMU as a whole, and I think you tapped into it a little bit, but how do you feel like it cultivates the environment for entertainment careers without a film? You know, even without a film, you know, major on campus?
I think FAMU cultivates, you know, our students excelling in entertainment because it gives you the freedom to create. You know, we had students that created their own TV network while we were there.
Wow.
We had students that were on the radio with shows, and you could be creative and bring in guests and interview people.
Wow.
And you know, we had another group of students that created a music video show that was local in Tallahassee. So if you were in North Florida, you came to go and be part of on the set. And then they started financing and shooting commercials. You had people doing plays, people writing music, putting out albums, shirts. And so, again, it's a hustle school. So because everybody had a passion, if you didn't have a hustle or something to do,
right,
you were kind of like a little lame. So everybody came out there looking to do something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay. And it's funny because today at the latest All-Star game, a FAMU brother who happens to be an Alpha, shout out, designed the Beats headphones for the All-Star game. And so it's just as you look at the legacy now and how it was there then to even now, like the one person, it's just like, you know what? Of course, that's the FAMU cat.
Gotcha. Yeah, and seeing it with Woody on Power and how great he's doing, you know, and it seems like Dr. Humphreys, this DNA that he laid, you know, with you guys being able to have this type of freedom to be entrepreneurs and be excellent, it seems like it's all over the place, you know, with his imprint on it based off of his philosophy. So that's dope.
Well, you know, I got to be honest with you. When we raised money to shoot our movie, because it's on film, right? When you shoot film, then at the end of it, you have to go and pay to get it developed,
right,
so you can cut film. Well, we ran out of money.
Wow.
And Dr. Humphreys found the money for 2 students, Rob and Will, to go finish their movie. He didn't have to do that. That wasn't part of any curriculum. He went and found the money for us to be able to do that. So that movie would not have happened without him, without his support.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So that's amazing, bro. That's amazing. So wrapping up, last question. You know, this Windows and Intel, you know, been into the culture, want to amplify HBC culture. You want to ask everyone we have coming on the show, you know, about FAMU's community and culture, and how does that inspire you?
FAMU's culture inspires me because it's a network of real people that care. It's like extended family. I feel like when, not just in our careers, but also in our life, you know, when people find out that you're going to whatever city and they know you're from FAM, they give you a referral. They say, hey, call my uncle, call my cousin, call my friend. And so you're never alone. And, you know, no matter where you go, when somebody hears that name, it's almost like, you know, you're meeting your long lost cousin. And I just feel like that kind of network, you would always hear people talk about the Ivy League network.
Yes.
And that's why you want to pay to go to Harvard and Yale.
Yes.
Well, we believe in the HBCU network. And that HBCU network is strong.
Yes.
And we believe that for us, you know, FAMU is, you know, at the top of that list. And so we can have confidence in that network and in who we are and spreading that love.
That's dope, bro. Listen, man, this was amazing. Thank you for coming on today. Have a great weekend. I hope to see you soon, brother.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
All right, bro. All right. Man, that's dope. Listen, we're about to jump into athletics and talk a little bit about it. The mission of the athletic program at FAMU is to relentlessly pursue dominance. And from the looks of it, the Rattlers are setting up just to do that. They've had some great moves they've made, having recently entered a 6-year partnership with Nike and LeBron James, along with the reconstruction of Bragg Stadium. FAMU is ready to make a statement as they enter the SWAC this year. We're going to see. I'm Jack State alum. I'm waiting. But as I mentioned before, the Rattlers are a force to be reckoned with on the football field, even though Jack State took the last W, and we'll see. This weekend, this coming up at the Orange Blossom Classic, returning this year to Miami Gardens, which pits up Coach Willie Simmons against the Jackson State and Coach Deion Prime Time Sanders. So that'll be the first game of the next year's regular season. I'm excited to go, to have fun, to get into the side of that culture of Orange Blossom Classic, and exciting as FAMU athletics is. On the football side, they've also soared across the board in other areas. The FAMU men's golf program claimed its first ever Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Golf Championship and won the NCAA tournament by an impressive 19 strokes at the Bryant Park Golf Club in Greensboro, North Carolina. Y'all check this out. So, with all the anticipation around FAMU's athletic programs, I had to get Courtney Gaucher, the Vice President and Director of Athletics, on the line to give us details on how FAMU intends to dominate this season. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Cortez. We're fired up to be here, man.
Nah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming along. I did see you at the press conference, and when y'all were getting up there talking a little back and forth. So I'm a Jackson State alum, so I'm excited. HBCU love, I'm definitely excited about kicking this season off. But before we jump into that, the Orange Blossom Classic, I would like the viewers to know your pathway and how, you came along your journey to be at FAMU.
No doubt. Well, Cortez, we brag different down here in Tallahassee. A little bit later, but my path, man, to the athletic director chair was really untraditional. I cut my teeth in the industry by being an equipment manager, and so I started my career at Jacksonville State University, which is Northeast Alabama. Actually got out of the business and got into the private sector for a little while, and realized that wasn't for me, and ended up at Middle Tennessee State and spent 6.5 years there. Really did some really special things on the athletics front, NCAA tournament wins, bowl games from a football perspective, made some investments with capital projects and facilities. And then I transitioned to Miami, University of Miami. In Miami. So I had worn the orange and green before. Again, life was great there. I really oversaw their facilities and events there, built an indoor practice facility, was part of that crew that brought Manny Diaz to Miami.
Okay.
And so, so I've had an amazing career and really been blessed to have some unique experiences. But when the Florida A&M University, it's like the marching 100.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. Go ahead.
But we brag different, and I think all of the guest speakers that spoke before me, that DNA that just encompasses everything, excellence with caring, that Dr. Humphrey's legacy just reminds us of. You take on that persona, and
right.
So to your point, we have been laser focused on dominating everywhere that we go. everybody that we see, and striking from the top.
Okay, so for the college kid, who wants to look at FAMU athletics, no matter what sport, what is so special about FAMU athletics that's going to get them and draw them to want to come down there?
Two things.
Okay.
So I would say the first thing, we call it the FAMU League. And so we truly believe that once you step foot on this campus, that we're going to provide you a student athlete experience like you can experience nowhere else on the planet. Second thing is, not only can you be a 5-star student athlete, all of your dreams can come true here. You can be a 5-star in life. So as Rob said, we have executives who are leading the way. I know Nina's there behind the scenes.
Yeah, she back there.
Talk about, again, just the epitome Will Packers of the world.
Yeah.
And the list goes on and on and on. But even in athletics, Bullet Bob Hayes, the fastest man on earth, Althea Gibson. There will be no Williams.
I didn't know she went to FAM. Okay, all right, okay. All right.
So our legacy is really deep. We're the only HBCU to win a 1AA national championship in football.
Okay, I didn't know that either. Okay, talk dirty. I hear you. All right, okay. Listen, and so usually, and that's why I do want you mentioned Althea, and I didn't know that. And usually, some of our culture is usually based in and around football. So I would like you to talk about some of the other programs that you have within the athletic department.
Absolutely. So here we have 14 varsity programs that are elite in nature. Obviously, our football program, we have a great football pedigree, but we have some really unique other programs, and I'll highlight our men's golf program. So we won the MEAC, which is the first time in school history.
Amazing.
And the 5 young men that were on that team are exceptional. So Moby Dillard was the #1 ranked minority golfer in the country.
That's amazing.
5 school major conferences, and he went pro in golf after this year.
Oh wow! That's amazing. That's hard.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wow.
So Matt Lade with a degree in business. All 5 young men, had a degree when they won that championship. One's going to Harvard Law, one's going to chiropractic school, and 2 of them are going to be computer engineers. And so we mean it when we say, not only can you be elite athletes here, but you will get a first-class education and a degree that is second to none. And so that's why we brag different. That's why we, as cocky as we are.
Yeah, I see.
And
That's it.
I think that's why people fall in love with Florida A&M.
Yeah, and I think you answered my next question, because how y'all pay attention to the academia side and you cultivate the talent in that way. You kind of answered what I was going to ask next. So that's dope. How you inspire your student athletes to be more outside of their sport. But let's get on this, because I'm trying to figure out how these happen, and these are some of my guys, right? Rich Paul and Maverick Carter. And I haven't talked to them about this yet, but I saw the picture of LeBron and the Packers just now, and it was all over the place. Tell us about that partnership, how that came to be, and what does it mean for the athletic department?
So, we'll say this, LeBron is an elite athlete of all time. And, and I think the synergy when we talk about really raising the stakes and raising the ties for all of us, we challenge the norm. So as we talk with some of these companies, we said we want to do something special because our institution is special. We're the only public HBCU in the state of Florida, right?
Right. Wow.
We start talking about the elite talent that comes through our institution. Some of it's been on this show.
Yeah.
We're cut above the rest. And so we challenge everybody, Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, all of them. So you want to be elite, put your money where your mouth is. And obviously for LeBron, it was a great opportunity to, again, he has really taken it on the purpose of making a difference. And so
absolutely.
Leveling the playing
Hands
field.
down.
So what's going to get Bronny or Mikey Williams to come to an HBCU?
Right.
You got to have the resources to be able to attract these young men and women.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And when they get here, they want to have the same resources that you see across the street at Florida State or at Mississippi State or whomever.
Absolutely.
And so this move was more than just a partnership with LeBron, and we're excited about that because that's going to go up.
Right.
Not only is that piece important, Nike is investing in scholarship dollars and resources.
Amazing.
Leveraging their clientele. And additionally, I believe this, and Coach Prime, you know, we do agree with this, that all ties rise together. So if we set the standard for
right,
then everybody else has got to come to the table and come correct.
Absolutely. Listen, and I love how the culture is spreading, you know, what you guys are doing with Prime is, you know, the message Prime is pitching at Jackson State, and I'm hoping, you know, that, like you said, the tide rises together and everybody excels. So, closing up, you know, this series is powered by Windows and Intel, and they want to know, Courtney, what about FAMU's community and culture inspires you?
I just think the standard of excellence, you know, mediocrity, average is not good enough. And, you know, that we've been able to educate the Black family and transform lives. We've created generational wealth, and it's all come through the highest of Seven Hills. And so, you know, I would tell Microsoft and Intel, hey, we've got some room in our football stadium.
There it is. Y'all heard it.
Looking forward to Labor Day weekend, my friend.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I definitely see you Labor Day weekend.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
All right. Okay, now this is my segment right here. This is something that I do, born, bred, straight band head, you know. And the cornerstone of HBCU culture is found in its marching bands. And FAMU's Marching 100 has a reputation for pioneering more than 30 innovative techniques that are now standard operating procedures for high school bands and college band programs throughout the country. The band is known for demonstrating precision in every aspect of its performance, which many view as key to the success of the Marching 100. FAMU's marching band was established in 1892 by P.A. Van Weller. The modern band program, though, at FAMU was established with the arrival of Dr. William P. Foster in 1946. What started as a mere 18 instrumentalists has become known as the Marching 100 by 1954. Each member is dedicated to providing quality precision with the utmost inside of their performance. Check out this performance the Marching 100 did to celebrate the inauguration of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. That was great, man. That was a great performance. Listen, so now we're going to talk to the head man himself of the Marching 100, Dr. Shelby Chipman, Director of Bands, to get an idea of what it takes to be a member of the Marching 100. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, Cortez? Good to see you here. Glad to be here.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I love to talk band. I'm a band head myself. Although I marched at Jackson State, I definitely have a deep respect for FAMU and have a lot of friends that marched in the program, you know. So even though I know you guys are world renowned, you know, a lot of people know about the program and its leadership, but we want the viewers to know kind of what was your pathway to becoming the director of bands at FAMU?
Absolutely, thank you. So, of course, born and raised in the greatest city of cities, as you've already heard, Miami, Florida. Graduating from Miami Northwestern High School and Crowd Bull, And so happened I received a scholarship to attend FAMU by one of the previous directors, Dr. Julie White, and went on to FAMU and graduated computer science and music education, Bachelor of Science degrees, and went back to Miami and taught for 10 years in the public school program at Miami Central High School. And lo and behold, Dr. Julie White sent me a message, and we got on the phone and said, I want you to consider applying for the job and as my assistant director. And we've been speaking quite a bit about Dr. Frederick S. Humphreys, and they created a line for myself, a line that is for the job. I ended up getting hired as Dr. Julie White's assistant in 1998. And of course, I worked within the program during his tenure as director of bands. And of course, in 2016, I was announced as of course, the band director. So that's the short version of how I ended up being director of bands.
That's amazing. You came back home. So you came back home. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see what's happening. During my tenure at Jackson State, you know, Dr. Liddell, who was my band director, right? You know, he used to always mention, you know, Dr. Foster, Dr. William P. Foster, and how gigantic he was and how he respected, especially when we was playing marches. Like, you know, he used to, and, you know, so we started learning about this man. And I'm at a whole nother program. My Jackson State followers might be upset that I'm saying this, but I'm just keeping it real. So as Dr. Foster was a giant in the marching community, can you elaborate on that notion and what that meant to the FAMU community? Because his name resonated even in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the one most interesting thing among many with Dr. William P. Foster was, you know, he attended school at the University of Kansas. I don't know if you know the story, but he was told early on there's no room for colors in the realm of being a conductor or a educator. And that inspired Dr. Foster back in the day, of course, to become this, I mean, just gigantic figure in the realm of being a highly sophisticated conductor as well as band director. And he used that comment that professor made at that time to defeat all those odds. And you can only imagine during the late 30s and early 40s, the struggles that, you know, blacks and African Americans had at some of the other institutions, predominantly white institutions.
Right.
And he went on, of course, to become president of all the major organizations within band as relates to American Bandmasters Association, College Band Directors National Association, and others in the state of Florida. And in the meantime, he ended up establishing a precedence as it relates to developing the band at Fort Valley prior to coming to FAMU. And of course, the history is there. And not many people can say that they are known as the maestro, the law, and the legend that he was able to establish because of not only the kinds of things that he did at FAMU, but the kinds of things that he did as it relates to ensuring that music education, and marching band was going to be different. And that's what Florida A&M University brought about in the late 40s, early 50s, that relevance that people wanted to see.
That's amazing, man. So much lineage. And the Marching 100 has such an amazing history. I want viewers to check out this incredible performance from 1972. And then we'll come back and talk about it. That was crazy. We actually did that drill while I was at Jackson State. So that was like, when I saw this clip, I was like, whoa, that, like the history, man, and I appreciate it so much. So for the viewers, I want to tap into the students and the band students, for the viewers that don't know. So to pull something like that off, what's the type of discipline it takes in drill and precision? All the great shows y'all do without y'all tenure and y'all history.
Wow, man, it's a lot of moving parts. We start off with our show planning committee, which consists of students and members of the band staff, and you know, we're always searching for that 10th of a point and that wow factor that's going to attract that audience to say, man, I can't believe FAMU did that. Even with that clip you just showed there, Cortez, that was one of the patterns and motions presentations that not only FAMU did, but several bands across the country have done. And so as we get our show planning committee together, we discuss ideas, and then we think about, you know, what's going to be that factor that just pops out to the audience members. And so the students and staff, we come up with different ideas that relate to what the theme may be centered around, if it's a theme related show, if it's a pictures in motion like you just saw there. And we take that and we, of course, meet with our arranger, Mr. Lindsey B. Sargent, the greatest arranger of arrangers anywhere.
Sarge,
And of course,
yes,
Mr.
sir.
Sargent puts his man with the golden pen.
Yeah.
We get any better arrangements than Lindsey B. Sargent's arrangements. And then we have our drill writers who coordinate that, and we send our drills in advance to the students. And of course, we teach our drills without the instruments. We just on field want them to concentrate on their cell phones and their drill assignments, individual assignments. And then we'll eventually start to put it all together with the instruments and the playing and drill to form.
That's amazing, man. And I had so many more questions, but I'm getting cut short because the show about to end at 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Oh, man. So I had so many questions. I was going to get into the SWAC MEAC thing, but you know what? I'm just going. They stopping me. So I'm going to pick this out. Huh?
What's your instrument?
I was a percussionist. I played cymbals in the marching band. I played melodic percussion in concert and symphonic band. So, yeah. But let me ask this question for Microsoft about culture in and around FAMU, you know, because they want all our guests to answer, you know, what is FAMU's community culture, and how does FAMU's community culture inspire you, Dr. Chimney?
Right. FAMU's community culture is, of course, just outstanding. We have so many strong components that's related to not only the FAMU band program, but you've heard the cliche, the excellence with caring.
Yes.
And you know, you've seen all and heard about all the giants that have gone through FAMU, and I just think about all the historical things that are related to not only all HBCUs, but certainly FAMU. And you know, we have a strong history in that to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes.
Even to myself as band director, and the Sutler Trophy that we've gotten in marching in Paris, France, and the Grammys with Kanye West and Jamie Foxx, and the Soul movie, and you saw the NBA, and you know, we have a band camp, summer band camp that attracts over 400 or 500 students. And so the members of this community and within our culture, they expect great things from everybody that prides themselves as a rattler. And from the perspective of anybody that's a rattler, we lead from the front. And you know, we always just wonder who's going to be in second.
See, this is debatable. We go. See, I'm gonna end that because we gonna agree to disagree with that. But welcome to the SWAC, and I look forward to meeting you and seeing you in person at the Orange Blossom Classic Battle of the Bands before even the game. So thank you for coming on today.
Awesome. It's all in fun. Looking forward to it.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot, Dr. Chimney.
Right.
All right. Man, I had so many more questions. That was the band segment. Jeez. But we out of time. I had a great time. That's a wrap on the second episode of the Foundation FAMU. Listen, if you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to stream with us on July 17th. That's the next time we're doing this, 2 weeks at 2 p.m. on BlackStream Live, when we heading over to Texas to check out Prairie View A&M. I want to give us special thanks to Windows, Intel, and Evo. Windows and Intel create the best tools to give you the best college experience and empowering this great HBCU show. So listen, thanks for tuning in. Rest in peace to Dr. Humphreys again, and good night.
The dark clouds gather on the horizon when thunder and lightning pierce the sky with faith for the glen the sinew of the chest grows weary, and the muscles in the legs grow tired from those hard charging linebackers. You must always remember, the Rattlers will